Welcome back to The Golden Prescription. This is your source for professional skincare knowledge on YouTube. My name is Nai, also known as LA Beautyologist on Instagram and Twitter. Now it's officially summertime. It's time to break out the bikinis and sundresses and go to all the pool parties. But when it comes to skincare, are you also breaking out the SPF? And I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. Do black girls even need SPF? Well, the short answer is yes, but it's probably not for the reason that you think. Only about 15% of black people wear SPF. So if you said no, don't feel bad. You're in the majority. For years and years growing up, I heard, especially because I grew up in like white suburban areas, like you have to wear SPF, skin cancer doesn't discriminate. But like, to be honest, it never really made sense to me because, I mean, I'm Jamaican. There's countries entirely full of black and brown people in extremely hot areas of the world that don't have high rates of skin cancer, like New York or Canada or even Australia, that has the highest rate of skin cancer in the world. But if you know a little bit about biology or evolution, this actually makes a lot of sense. I minored in anthropology in college, so this is like right in my bag. But the evolutionary purpose of dark skin is to protect you from UV rays. All right, let's get sciencey for a second. Melanocytes are melanin producing cells. Everyone has melanocytes, regardless of your skin color. It's the amount of melanin that your melanocytes produce that determines your skin color. Now, these melanocytes exist at the very bottom layer of your epidermis. If you didn't know, the skin has 3 layers: your epidermis, which you can see, the dermis, and then the subcutaneous layer, which has mostly just fat. The dermis is where most of the vital parts of your skin exist: blood vessels, collagen, elastin, fibroblasts, oil glands, all of that. So the melanocytes at the very base layer, right above the dermis, exist to protect all of those vital skin structures. Now, if you look at the skin color of people native to very hot areas of the world, places like the continent of Africa, India, and the native people of Australia, their skin color is very dark. So again, now let's look at Australia, with the highest rate of skin cancer in the world. People who inhabit Australia now, for the most part, are of European descent. The climate and UV ray intensity in Australia is very different than that of where these people are originally from. Northern Europe, which is very cold, dark, rainy, and some place where you can get away with evolutionarily not having that much melanin in your skin. Evolution apparently didn't account for colonialism. Go figure. Okay, so now this part is important, right? It is possible for black people to get melanoma. Risk is just really, really, really low. About the same as a man getting breast cancer. Is it possible? Yes. Is it highly unlikely? Also yes. Okay, so listen close because this part is super interesting too. When a dark-skinned person does get melanoma, the type of skin cancer that's not even caused by UV rays to begin with. Therefore, sunscreen has 0 effect on the prevention of melanoma in dark-skinned people. I know. And don't worry, if you feel like arguing with me, I'll list a bunch of articles and medical journals you can look at that I encourage you to read before you get to type in real fast.
I want to see the receipts.
Now, acral lentiginous melanoma, or ALM, is the rarest and most deadliest form of skin cancer. ALM typically appears on the hands, soles of the feet, underneath the toenails, areas of the body where UV rays typically don't reach. ALM isn't inherently more dangerous, it's just that when it appears in black people, they're a group that doesn't typically check for moles or abnormalities in their skin, which leads to late diagnosis, which leads to poor prognosis, which leads to death. Melanoma often appears as a freckle or mole first, even old freckles and moles. So it's really important to keep note of all of them and have them checked by a dermatologist at least once a year. To identify potentially dangerous spots on the body, you use something called ABCDE. A stands for asymmetry. Benign moles are mostly symmetrical. A mole that appears oddly shaped or like the 2 halves don't match should be looked at. B is for border. Safe moles have a well-defined border. Any mole that looks kind of like mushy around the edges or like it fades into the surrounding skin is alarming. Get that checked. C is for color. Benign moles are uniform throughout in color. If your mole is multiple colors, brownish, reddish, even black, take note. D is for diameter. Atypical moles are usually bigger than 1/4 of an inch around. So that's like the head of an eraser. But they can be smaller, so just keep that in mind. E is for evolution. If you notice a change in your moles, growth, they become abnormal, border, color, symmetry, definitely get that checked. Okay, so like if not for skin cancer, what are the reasons to even wear SPF to begin with? There are 4 very important reasons why a dark skinned person should still wear sunscreen. 1 is burns. Sunburns suck. They're painful, they're flaky. Dark skinned people can definitely get sunburned, especially if you're out on the beach all day, you're out on a boat. Water reflects sunlight, so it gives you double the amount of damage. And I see sunburns a lot in dark skinned people when they travel to a country that's hotter than their home country for vacation or something. 2, UV rays irreversibly damage collagen and elastin in your dermis. These are the proteins and fibers in the skin that make you look young and youthful. So while yes, melanin does protect these dermal structures up to 7 to 8 times better than it does in fair skinned people, it's still going to be very important to wear SPF if you want to make sure that you look 25 when you're 45. Number 3, skincare actives like alpha hydroxy acids, salicylic acid, lactic acid, benzoyl peroxide, citric acid, they all make the skin photosensitive, which means you're a lot more likely to burn in UV rays, which again, you do not want. Sunburns are terrible. They're itchy, they're irritating, they don't look cute, so just protect yourself. And 4, if you're treating hyperpigmentation on the face, anywhere on the body, your melanocytes respond to UV rays, so being out in the sun will worsen your hyperpigmentation. Now, when choosing an SPF, it can be tricky because there's a lot going on with the formulas. There's numbers, there's words, they say a whole bunch of different things. Some are greasy, some make you look gray, some smell bad, some are irritating. So here are my best tips for choosing an SPF. The most important thing is that your SPF is broad spectrum. Broad spectrum means that it protects against UVA and UVB rays. UVA rays cause aging, UVB rays are the rays that burn. And UVA can penetrate glass, so if you are inside all day, it's still going to be important to wear SPF. An SPF between 30 and 50 is perfect. Anything else over 50 is negligible, and a brand will absolutely charge you just because they put SPF 100 on their bottle, even though it doesn't really make that much of a difference. SPF 30 offers about 97% protection, SPF 50 is about 98% protection, SPF 100 is only 99% protection, so it's really no point. And it lulls people into like a false sense of security, thinking they can go double as long without reapplying, which is not true. The FDA is actually looking to ban labeling of SPFs over 50 because there's no point. Now, you cannot layer SPFs to get more protection. An SPF 15 in your moisturizer and then an SPF 15 in your foundation does not equal SPF 30. It's just 15. Actually, it may be less than 15 for this next reason. And that's that SPF in makeup doesn't count. It's just a marketing gimmick. Like, I'm sure there's SPF in it, but it doesn't really protect your skin up to the number on the label. Mostly because makeup doesn't go on as thick as SPF is supposed to in order to provide adequate protection. I personally also recommend separating your SPF from your moisturizer because I find that the SPF in those moisturizers gets diluted and that they're not good moisturizers, so you kind of lose out benefits in both products. But if you're lazy, I prefer you just use an all-in-one than to not go without it altogether. Now, SPF ingredients either physically reflect UV rays off the surface of the skin or chemically absorb UV rays. Physical SPFs are ingredients like titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. The benefit here is that these ingredients tend to be less irritating, but also can give the SPF product a purplish grayish tinge like this. Chemical SPFs are ingredients like avobenzene, octinoxate, octisalate, and oxybenzone. The benefit here is that these formulas are generally pretty translucent, so they look perfectly fine on dark skin, but these ingredients can increase the heat on the skin because they're absorbing the UV rays, so they may not be best for those with rosacea. I've personally found that the best SPFs are combinations of the two, physical and chemical ingredients. And beware of DIY recipes that you see like on Pinterest, a lot of these indie skincare brands. Proper SPF formulas are really difficult to make, and the amount of SPF ingredients does not equal the amount of sun protection. It's a lot to do with ingredient distribution, formula consistency, the other ingredients in the formula, so please don't be fooled because it can be dangerous. So now, after this long informational video about skin cancer and SPF, I will bless you with my favorite SPF recommendations. Neutrogena Hydro Boost is a great SPF, especially if you're in a budget since it's a drugstore. It does contain avobenzone, which has been banned in Hawaii because it's not good for the coral reefs, so keep that in mind. But if you need a drugstore option and are not going to be in the ocean, that's a good option for you. Glossier Invisible Shield is currently my favorite SPF at the moment. Very light, very easy to go on, no smell. It plays well with other skincare products and doesn't cause any peeling. I love it. As is Farmacy Green Defense and SuperGoop Unseen. SuperGoop also has a lot of great SPF sprays for reapplication after makeup. Then there's Black Girl Sunscreen. Yes, that's the name of the brand, Black Girl Sunscreen, if you are interested in supporting a Black-owned brand. And then my favorite, okay wait, I said the other one was my favorite. This one I think is the best SPF on my SPF list, Elta MD Clear, because it contains niacinamide, which is also going to help treat acne and dark spots. So it's like the most professional grade SPF on this list. I use it in my services in the skincare studio, and yeah, that's pretty much it, I believe. Thank you for watching. This video was really long and I'm like sweating now. If you learned something today, please like and share and subscribe because it would mean the world to me. My name is Nai, your friendly neighborhood esthetician, LA Beautyologist on Instagram and Twitter. If you would like to book an appointment with me in my skincare studio in Beverly Hills, I'll leave my booking link below. Again, thank you for watching, and remember, if it doesn't feed you, don't water it.